Anas, let's start recording. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone, and warm welcome to all Mutah University students, alumni, mentors, and distinguished guests joining us today. Next, please, my name is Salami Obedat, and on behalf of our mentorship and residency preparation initiatives, it's an honor to host this focused webinar on U.S. residency match interview preparation. First and foremost, I would like to sincerely thank the Dean of Mutah University, Dr. Tadi Sawaqid, for joining us and for his continuous and generous support. Your belief in your students, Dr. Sawaqid and alumni, is the reason programs like this exist, and we are deeply grateful. Before I invite you to give your opening remarks in just a moment, I would like to go over a little bit how did we start and about this initiative. Next, please. So all of this effort started like who we are. We are like a group of graduates, students who are believing that Mutah University needs more of our support. And like during our journeys, we went through a lot of like struggling sometimes and the unknown. And we didn't find that much of support from people who've been through this experience. So in a way to pay back, we start this like little discussion, this little chat, and then we are going to be like a little bit of a body of support for all applicants going forward. Next, please. It all started back in April 2025 during the Jordanian American Physician Association conference in New Jersey, where there was like a little talk about the stats, the numbers of the Jordanian match applicant the last season. And we noticed that our performance in Mutah is not, let's say, as equivalent to other universities. Even these universities who were established after Mutah, they are like exceeding in numbers, in data, the numbers that we are doing in Jordan in regard to the number of applicants and number of people who get into residency here in the United States. Next, please. So we start reaching out. The first conversation was between me and Dr. Hana Abu Musa, who was like so enthusiastic about this idea. And we start to think, how should we start? As like two people in academia, we believe in data. So we start to know how many graduates we have in the US. So we started a WhatsApp group. I thought there would be like, let's say 20, 30 people to join, and we ended up with like more than 80. So I'm so proud of all of these people who are connected, and we got like a little survey to get to know what they are doing. Is it academia, private, what specialty, subspecialty? And we asked them a couple of questions about if they are willing to help with mentorship, with USMLE trip, with research, with other activities. And honestly, the number that we have is like for people who volunteered their time and effort is like amazing and is so promising. Next, please. So the first idea was, since let's make a well-established body and let's start this next year. So let's skip this season of the match because all of these conversations were in July. So we're running out of time in June and July. But then I said, let's do it. It won't be perfect. We will not be like as supportive as we should, but at least let's have this year as a pilot and try our best. And Alhamdulillah, we started like a little bit working on some of the documents. And currently we have more than 30 mentors matched with almost 60 applicants for this season. Next, please. We helped the applicant this year with the documents. This is one thing that we don't have like a well-established culture, history, archive about. So we start with some IMG friendly programs. We added Jordanian friendly column to that, and we added Mutah friendly so that it can be helpful for the applicants. We worked on the MSPE draft about like a timeline for the applicants to know where they are and when they should be done with each step along the way. We worked on the CV, letter of recommendation, and personal statement. We provided some examples. We have so generous mentors who shared their own personal statements, their own letter of recommendations to help the applicants to use it as a template. Next, please. As we say, we don't want to be like a separate or like somebody that's not integrated with others. We want to be integrated with Java, and we don't want like to duplicate the effort. So there was an opportunity for this symposium. We were able to sponsor some of the students and applicants to join and to learn from these amazing like symposium and speakers. And we ended up with like starting to build the manual that we will share with next year applicants, and going forward we will keep it updated to have all the steps from like starting your USMLE journey with the exams, ending up by how would you like work in the state. Next, please. As always, as a reminder, there will be a lot of pitfalls. We are learning to walk as we are walking, so please bear with us. I know our mentors, الفيدباك تاعتهم, it's amazing in a side. They enjoy the interaction with the applicant, but at the same time, there is a lot of pitfalls in communication and in like in how are we doing things. So I would like to apologize for any habits or any mistakes happens along the way for our mentors and applicants, and for any miscommunication. Thank you. And next. Currently, we are, like, as we said, preparing the manual. We are working with establishing the Mutah US Interest Group. This would be for the students, and we have another one for the alumni, زي نادي الخريجين. Dr. Fadi is working with us. He wanted to be official, so he's working مع عماد شؤون الطلبة so that we get like the proper paths for these clubs, so it can be maintained and get like some support and maybe sponsorship from the University of Mutah. Next, please. So currently we'll have this webinar, and as preparation for the interviews, we have the mock interview that would be run starting tomorrow for a week, where we match like one-to-one mock interviews. Our like amazing, again, I keep saying these big words, but because this is the reality, there's a lot of work in the background to facilitate and build these documents. So we have some instruction sheets for our mentors. We had a pool of questions that was like collected from trusted resources and well-established like experts from our graduates and beyond. And we have the feedback that we will provide to the mentees, and it would be written too. So we can have that as a database feedback for us to improve the program going forward. And we will provide like some useful document or sheet about this webinar summary and the interviews feedback, so that we can share it with the applicant, and we will add it to the manual. So our aim is to have as comprehensive of a work as a big umbrella for the whole experience going forward, and to keep it up to date and to keep add as much knowledge we get to this manual, so it would be helpful for the next generation of applicants. Next, please. So for today's webinar, we'll be focusing on 5 parts. First, starting by preparation and language, interview skills, IMG pitfalls, because yes, trust me, there will be a lot of things that for our cultural difference, it's you would think that you're doing the right thing, but no, you would be like getting yourself like or shooting yourself in the foot without knowing that. So our expert will share a lot of these, and we are like honored to have some of our fresh people who are joining us to share with us their experience, recent experience. So it will be reflected on your experience this year, and we will end with Q&A. Please, we will keep it in the chat. So if you have any questions that's not covered by the speakers, please feel free to add it to the chat. We will have 2 of our experts, program directors, assistant program directors, who would be able to respond to these along with our speakers. And we will end up with like a little remarks for any points that was not covered by the speakers or the questions by our program directors at the end. So please keep your mics muted and enjoy this webinar. Hopefully it would be super helpful for all of you. And now I would love to ask our Dean, Dr. Sawaqit, to give the opening remarks for us, please. Dr. Sawaqit.
Oh, hello, everybody. And I'm really very happy to join this meeting. Really happy for the initiatives that our colleagues from USA and the graduates of Mutah who really appreciated this proposal and this initiative to help our students and the graduates to find position in USA, either for student as elective or for the graduates to have a good opportunity during the match. So really, I feel very happy to work with Dr. Abidat and to work with other colleagues. More happy also to find this number of our students, our graduates who are meeting us tonight for this proposal. Really, I am happy for the enthusiasm and the passion for our graduate to really have a focus or have an opportunity to get the match in America and US at USA. So really, thank you everybody. Thanks for who make the organization for this meeting, and thank you all for joining us. Really, I would like to stress on a few points. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Abidat for being an adjunct assistant professor at Mutah University. Really, this was part of our initiative to give a position for our colleagues who graduated from Mutah and have achieved a good position, a great position in USA, to be part of the academic staff, either directly or indirectly, as Ubidat. So congratulations, Dr. Salame. Hopefully, this position will help you and help us in continue supporting our faculty. And really, it was a good opportunity for us to open the window for other colleagues who have an academic reputation and academic status to join our faculty as an adjunct professors. We believe without you, we will not proceed forward. This initiative, as Dr. Salami said, started from April. And we were at the beginning, we were thinking for to find, let us say, slots for the electives for the sixth year students. However, the initiative was or became bigger because of the great response that we have received from the beginning from our colleagues who showed a great passion to help the graduate from Mutah. Our aims, our main aim was to help our graduate and student. Through the road, the aim has extended a lot. So one of the aim was to increase the number of student and the graduate who find slots during the match. And I would like to stress on one point that if you count the number of graduates who achieve a position in USA is a little bit small in comparison with other university. But in percentage, I believe the percentage from whom who applied, it will be a great percent. If we consider that our students are not that much oriented to get match and to do the USMLEs. Later on, a lot of aims became like helping electives, helping graduates, and also to improve our accreditation. That's why I have asked Sotari to prepare like a small summary for the meeting. This will help us to keep our accreditation from the WFME as a reputation for our graduates who can benefit from this accreditation everywhere they go all over the world. Lastly, I would like to thank everybody again, and I hope that this meeting will be successful, and hopefully all our graduates will find all what they need, and by the end of this match this year, we will find a lot of graduates who achieve a good match. Lastly, I would like to apologize for any delay during the documentation process. We faced a lot of problems either with some academic staff or with AMC and the GMC websites, but we tried our best to solve all the problem, and I hope for everybody to complete his journey and to achieve what he wants. At the end, I would like to tell you that on Monday, we will host one of your colleagues, Dr. Mahmoud Abu Hazim. He will spend a full day with us at Mutah, and he is very happy to go back to Mutah and to share some memories from the place where he was graduated. We put a schedule for him. He will do one clinical round teaching, and then he will present a lecture at the faculty. We are happy to work on that. We are very, let us say, ambitious to achieve our goals. And I believe with our working together, we will do it finally. And our graduate will get the best benefit for this match this year and the years later. And thank you, everybody.
الله يعطيك العافية حكيم. Thank you so much. We أكيد يعني I would like to second every point you said about like the support. It's genuine and it's true. Now I wanna give the mic to our moderator Anas Satari. And just like thank you Anas for all the efforts. Anas, he's doing a lot of things in the backgrounds, and he's like a lot of energy and support. So thank you Anas. The mic is yours.
الآن بدنا نبدأ بسم الله مع البريبريشن واللانجوج. معنا الدكتور عمار الوردات. الدكتور عمار الوردات بداية أنهى إقامته بالولايات المتحدة الأمريكية وحصل على البورد الأمريكي، وهو حاليا طبيب باطني بيمارس في بيس هيلث ساوث ويست ميديكال سنتر، وبالمثل هو أيضا فاميلي ميديسن ريزيدنسي فاكولتي في بابليك هيلث سكول في واشنطن يونيفرسيتي أو يونيفرسيتي اوف واشنطن. تفضل دكتور عمار، بسم الله.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Dr. Abidat. Thank you, Dr. Sawaqid. Congratulations, Dr. Abidat, again. Now we start why we're here. So when we started working on this webinar project, we thought of a structure that can help Mutah students, especially IMGs in general. And we wanted something that you can find like on websites like Reddit, YouTube, and all of that, but we want to organize it in a way that with the time limitation of having 1 or 2 months to prepare for an interview, we need to help you also in summarizing things. So we started by putting some goals here, and our goals were to build confidence in communication, because we notice a lot of communication problems with IMGs or like some Jordanian graduates. Also, we want you to know more about the process, because big deal of the preparation is to know what's happening on the other side, because we all know what's happening on the medical student side, on the applicant side. Maybe you know better than me about the ERAS process, but I know more about like what's happening on the other side, what happens after you leave the interview. And we want to share some information, and maybe that would help you. The third goal was to help you know what to do and set your priorities, because practicing structured answer, we thought it's a priority. We don't want you to memorize. We don't want you to be a robot. So we're going to talk a lot about this too. Fourth goal was to avoid common IMG pitfalls. As we said before, we notice and there is a lot of pitfalls IMGs fall into. And that's expected because it's a new system. It's like a whole different culture. Jokes are different, and reading the room is different. So we want to focus on these pitfalls, and so you can avoid it. Lastly, is the most important one, is the mock interviews. As much as we can tell you about it in text and in person, if you don't practice, you're gonna be surprised, and surprise on the day of the interview is not good. You want to avoid surprises as much as possible. So these are the goals that we set, and hopefully we will achieve it by the end of the webinar, end of this week. Next, please. Alrighty, so I'm going to start talking about the general process of the residency interview. I'm going to talk a little bit about the language barriers. And regarding the process, so most of interviews nowadays are on video interviews. There is some in-person interviews here and there in small hospitals, but most of the programs I know, they do the video interviews. This has two things that you should keep in mind. It's increasing the number of interviewees that we can, and applicants that we can accept. So before COVID, the program can't interview more than like maybe 50 applicants a week, and that will go for 6 weeks. Right now, because of the video interviews, we can increase the daily interview from like 10 to maybe like 40. We can put you all in a Zoom call, arrange it with some faculty, arrange it with some like residents. And this is a challenge for the applicant because he or she needs to stand in between higher number of people now. So this is the first challenge, is the video interview and how to deal with it. The second thing you need to know about is most of interviews are half-day interviews. It's 6 hours. You only have to like survive 4 to 6 hours and you'll be good. So you need to focus on that. And what happens usually in the interview is after this, it's divided into sessions, and some sessions are of high importance than others. So in the 2 or 3 programs I know, the most important session are not the ones with the residents, unless you like messed up big time and some residents red flag you. So this is of least important, the ones with the residents. And surprisingly, like 2 of the programs I know, the PD does not interfere a lot with the scoring process, or they want to avoid the bias of the PD being a dictator. So sometimes the PD will give up their scoring sheet to some other faculty. And the third most important session are usually with faculty. And by that, I mean, you're going to meet an APD, you're going to meet associate program director, you're going to meet an assistant professor, a faculty member, a clinical doctor at the hospital, and this person going to have a scoring sheet. And in my experience, this scoring sheet is the most important one. There are going to be multiple, but this is the one you should focus on. And after that, after you're done with like 3 sessions, 4 sessions, depends on the program, there is a formula. Some programs count your scores, your letter of recommendation, your personal statement as like 70%, and they will add the 30% of the interpersonal interview. Some programs are 50-50. One of the programs I know, and once you start the interview, they reset your scores. They don't look at anything before that. All the scores that you take during the interview is what's going to put you on the rank list. If you have perfect scores, perfect personal statement, that does not matter once you get an interview. And at the end of each day, we usually review these scores and set it up. And we establish what's called rank order list. Rank order list is basically a rank list on our end. Same rank list that you do in February for programs. We have a similar similar website, similar software that we do the ranking on it. So this is the process. Next, please. All righty. So one of the scoring sheets I use a lot, or like we use a lot, is divided like this. Like I can't give you a picture of the scoring sheet itself, but this is what it's in it. So there is a part of communication skills, and each category of these, like 6 categories, has 1 to 5 scoring system. So the weakest applicants will get 6 points, and the strongest applicants will get 30 points. Communication skills is something that we assess, and it can be as be easily assessed. If you listen actively, if you give me time to speak, if you can explain your ideas without like hesitation, without like with organizing thoughts, that will give you 5 out of 5. Then we talk about professionalisms. Professionalism and the rest, most of the rest of these points are hard to assess on a video interview. So what we use is we go into asking you for a scenario. And I'm sure all of you heard about that. So we ask you about a scenario that you faced and how did you deal with it. And we will imagine, like, based on that answer is like, what's your professionalism score? And I know it sounds like not accurate, but it is what it is, and you can use it to your benefit. So based on professionalism, based on that scenario, we will think if you're like, we're like prepared, and also based on how you deal through the interview, like with the other residents, with a coordinator, with all of that, if you're respectful and composed and say thank you to the coordinator and all of that, that will also like help with the scoring for this. Next is the motivation for the specialty. Oh my God, this is an important one because a lot of IMGs, they apply for like a main specialty and a backup specialty. And imagine if I am an internal medicine or like I'm a family medicine faculty here and I'm interviewing for family medicine and the guy's talking about like pediatrics. I'll be like, whoa, man, like, so I am the backup here. And that does not look good for you. Absolutely not. So motivation for the specialty is something you have to be sure about. You have to like make sure what's the program is about, and make sure that don't put it into like too much formal way. So what I mean is like you can be humble. You can be like, oh, I went through like a phase where I did not know what specialty I want to go to, but I feel, and based on my rotation, that this specialty is the best fit. You don't have to be like, I was born to do this. That's cliche. Next is we assess the teamwork and interpersonal fit. This is totally based on how you read the room, how you interact. Like if the faculty is or the interviewer is joking with you, you can't be formal. Like you have to like let it ease a little bit. Same the opposite. If some interviewer want the interview to be like totally formal, and you can't be joking. So we want to know how your interpersonal skills are, and this is what determine if I'm okay working with you like during a day or during a late shift. I don't want like someone who does not read the room or someone who does not like know how to interact with other people, other like residents. So this is one. Clinical and academic potential. We always review your CV and talk about it a little bit. And cultural and system fit. This is based on like each program has a mission, and you can find on their website. Some program focus on underserved area, high volume patient population, underserved area, and these focus on that. Other programs will be like, we're academic, big academic, we focus on research, we want like to be the best in the field. And imagine if you interview with an academic and tell them that you're interested in like serving high volume underserved population. It does not fit. It might sound okay, but it does not fit. The worst scenario is like to go to a small program in middle of nowhere, like Nebraska, and tell them that you're interested in doing this huge trial on this and that. They'll be like, I don't have resources for you. I have like 10 residents here, a lot of patients out the door, and I want to get things done. So know where you are interviewing, read a little bit about their mission, their environment, and try to like be fit into that. Next, please. Okay. So yeah, this goes back to how important the interview is. And I told you there's different formulas. There's some programs that take it as like 50% of your score, and some programs that take it as 100%. But this is the most common here. And always remember, once you're invited to the interview, you fit. Like, they want to hear you. And if you do good, they will take you, they will rank you. So getting the interview is important. And you should be proud of yourself if you get an interview. Next, please. Alrighty. So the first part should tell you about like the interview itself and the process. The second part is the language confidence. So these are the things that I feel that IMGs have like some. I had in previously, and maybe I still have, and and this is what IMGs like find challenging. One is US interviews are not exams. It's definitely nothing that you have to come like and try to find the perfect answer. There is no perfect answer here. I just want to talk to you and see if you're okay. If you're not, like, the first thing we always joke between like faculty is like, hey, we don't need psychopaths this year. It's like, we want to avoid like people who are not fit into our program. So try to look at it as a conversation that you want to manage, and think about it as a dinner that you want to please everyone on that table. Be political, and don't look for the perfect answer, just look for the best answer. Focus on the tone, clarity, and pacing. Well, I can be like honest here. Like the tone, we're all Jordanians, and we have like aggressive tone. So if I talk to anyone and like I have like a strong accent and I'm going with my Jordanian accent, especially if I talk to my mom in the morning, then like I'll be like, oh God, who is it? Why are you angry? They will be like, why are you angry? I'm like, no, I'm not angry. I'm just like talking. So this is a huge one. Just adjust your tone. People here are like very soft speaking. So maybe try to talk to your, I don't know, like family, friends, practice, adjust the tone and be aware of it all the time. You'll be like, how's my tone? Clarity is important because a lot of people focus on the accent and forget the clarity. And even in the US, I get like applicants from the South, I get applicants from the East Coast, I get applicants from California, and they all sound different. And but the most important thing is to be clear when you talk to me. I don't care if you have an accent. If your grammars are good and you're clear speaking, then I'm okay with it. I'm actually like, maybe like we'll find that accent as a icebreaker, and we will talk about where are you from and how all of that. Pacing is important. Is each interviewer has a different pace. Some of them will be like rushing, and most of them, I would say, rushing because they don't have enough time in that day.
حكيم
So you have to read the room. Yeah.
تبقى تقريبا دقيقتين حكيم. الله يعطيك العافية.
Okay. So the pacing, you have to read the room and see like how fast you should go. You don't have Anas to remind you there. Master cultural and tone awareness. So it's about the tone too. The culture comes also like with the tone, as I told you, like some tones are more aggressive than others. Subtle cues. Well, it comes with pace. Like if the interviewer is rushing, don't take your time. Just like give like summarized answers. They will like that. Empathy. If the interviewer is telling you like a story about what happened with them, be empathetic. It's not all about you. Sometimes they will share something with you. Humor. If they joke, you joke. If they don't joke, you don't joke. As simple as that. Avoid being overly formal. Same thing as before. It's not an exam. It's just a conversation. And practice speaking and not memorizing. So instead of like memorizing your answer, just memorize the points, and it will come by itself. Next, please. All right, I'm going to be rushing here, but if you have questions, you can just drop it in the chat and we'll get into it. But we ran through this list before. It's like the grammar and the clarity is the most important thing. Record and review your answers when you're doing mock interviews. That will help you perfect that answer, because you want the perfect version and what points to focus on. You don't want to memorize it, but you want to get into all the points. I see that connectors are being less used by IMGs than Americans. It's like when you say a scenario, you should say like, that taught me this, this, and that. It will show that you learned. For example, this, and that. And practice small talks, because most of interviews are small talks. They're about hobbies, and not just like the regular I run. Say like, oh, I run the Dead Sea Marathon, and nobody's checking. Like I run like 5K in the Dead Sea, and they will be like, oh, Dead Sea, that's great, blah, 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 blah. What are you gonna do on your first vacation in residency, the food in the city that you're coming from? Be specific also, give examples. Like if you say you're hiking is different from saying, oh, I hiked like the highest mountain in Wadi Rum. They don't know how high it is, but you hiked it. So stuff like that. And mirror the tone, avoid the stiffness. I feel this is important. If like each of us right now, the presenters have different tone. And if we are gonna interview you today, you have to mirror my tone to make me feel like that you're good. What I mean by that is each interviewer has a flexibility, I would say, to being friendly, being formal, being stiff, being soft. So you have to adjust to that. And I feel like Jordanians are really good with social skills. So I think you got the skill, you just need how to like use it. So it's about mirroring what you see. Next, please.
Okay.
Alrighty, so that will sums it up for me. I'll leave it to Anas now. And if you have a questions, just drop it in the chat.
شكرا لك
Thank you.
دكتور عمار، الله يعطيك الصحة والعافية يا رب. اسمحوا لي الآن أني أقدم الدكتور نمير الزيادين، من خريجي دفعة 2019. دكتور نمير من خريجين المتميزين اللي حاليا هو تشيف ريزيدنت في بورسموث ريجنال هوسبيتال، والأكثر تميزا ما شاء الله دكتور نمير خلال سنوات إقامته حصل على جائزة المقيم المتميز، وهو المثل اللي بيقول انه اينما حللت ازهر. برنامج الدكتور نمير من بعد ما الدكتور دخل، خلينا نقول انه صار مؤتة فريندلي. فشكرا لك دكتور نمير كونك يعني سفير لمؤتة، والله يعطيك الصحة والعافية. تفضل دكتور.
الله يعطيكم العافية جميعا. Thank you Dr. Sawaqi, Dr. Abeidat, and all the panel. Thanks Anas for all the help. يعني we hope this energy is infectious. More people will be as helpful as you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna talk about interview skills. It's a whole topic to talk about, but will be brief. And this is just to open your eyes on the topic, and we can talk also more during the questions and even after that during the mock interviews. We'll start with the first slide. You have to know that the same pathophysiology for anxiety is the same as for excitement. So sweating and tachycardia is shared among anxiety and excitement. So please redirect your anxiety to an excitement as you are starting a new career and a new life, and channel that towards the positive of it, and try to normalize it, because think even top US graduates are also anxious about it. They don't sleep the night before. They talk about it to their friends and families. So it's abnormal not to be anxious. It's fine to be anxious. Direct that towards the same pathophysiology of excitement, and keep this in mind. That can also channel and redirect your anxiety to more of a useful arousal. Sorry. So do not aim for zero anxiety, but useful arousal for sure. Next, please. So you'll have to remember, as Dr. Alwarda was saying, that 5 or 7 key stories, something that was impactful, a story about teamwork, how resilient you were, and some of the ethics or your strength that you have to remember. Do not sound scripted, but also remember the key points and just make it a conversational every time. During that, also, you will and have to prepare for quick responses to why you want us and where do you yourself in 5 years, and all these common questions that you will get to ask every time. Next, please. So control the controllables. This is a very common headline. It's like you have to test your camera the night before. You have to check your microphone, your internet connection, and the lighting. Pick a quiet room with a neutral background. We'll talk about the background. I see question about that here. Clean frame and good eye line. If you're using the same computer camera, that's good. If not, and you have an external camera, make sure it's towards the panel. You will have and you should have another laptop or a plan B just in case, another charged device with a hotspot and wired headphone. We had an applicant last year who matched, or 2 years ago, who matched with us, and we had to do the whole interview on the phone because we lost connection. So it's doable for sure, and you should always have it as a backup plan. Confirm the time zone and link the day before, and I think this is very, very important. I don't know. A lot of people they don't know that different states they have different time zones in the same states. I have example like Texas, El Paso has a mountain time, and the rest of Texas is a central time. Most of Florida is Eastern time. There's just part of Florida is an Eastern time. There's also Kansas City. Most of it is a Central time. There's a small notch in the western side. It's a mountain time. So you have to check the time zone, and maybe we don't have the habit to check that back home, but it's a good practice. Once you come here to the US or start interviewing, to check the time zone, ask about it, and don't feel shy to confirm. Next, please. So as we said, there's most of the interviews will be a virtual, and I'm also in the process of interviewing for fellowship. So most of the places they do virtual interviews, some of them are in person, but for the virtual interviews, there is a checklist that you have to check also. As we said, the time zone and the platform. Most of the places now they use Thalamus. We're using Thalamus, but some of them they use Zoom and WebEx. Make sure you have accounts in all of those. Join early, and it's always being early is on time, and on time is always late. Keep water handy and food, unless it's medically necessary. Don't bring food or snacks, and definitely silence your notifications. Do not disturb on your phones, and close all the heavy applications on your computer. Next, please. Body language is very important, as Dr. Ammar was saying. You have to sit upright. Maybe I'm not doing it right this now, but I don't have the same anxiety. But sit upright, open posture. That will show how open you are, and it will reflect on your personality and confidence. Keep your shoulders relaxed, and the camera, as we said, at the level of the eye, and maintain your eye contact, and with the lens, not with the slides. The gesture is also very important. And you have to also show mid torso and up. Make sure in a slow pace, and allow for natural and normal pauses that will show confidence. Next, please. So a calm body is a calm mind, and so a helpful tips for that is a 10 minutes walk prior to the interview, or a light exercise beforehand. Make sure you're in a chill, a little bit on the colder side room. Maybe that will keep you awake. And box breathing, or like infinity breathing techniques. I actually have it on my phone, and we have it for residents. Just start here and breathe in and hold, and breathe out. It's very helpful. Also, warm tea or water next to you, and do not eat stuff before the interview. Next, please. So it's all about connection. So I know it's a brief time, it's only 20 minutes, but the mentality and the magic about first impressions last is all about connection. So you will have to find something to connect with. It's either something common like a sport or food or maybe a cultural thing, something you enjoy doing, a hobby or something like that. But it's all about connections, and you have to think the minute that you enter that interview, you should think about everyone as a future teammates. And that will not only help them to look at you differently, but this also will help you navigating your choices and your rank order list, because you have to think if you will fit in. You don't want to end up in a place that you are not happy or you don't feel comfortable. Whereas most of the places in the country, they're very nice and kind of supportive. There's always places that might not be the best fit for you, and you want to definitely avoid that. And I think the best way to navigate through that through a virtual interview is to start thinking about this place as your future workplace and those interviewers as future teammates. Be curious always, and have a smile on you. And sometimes كشرتنا هبتنا and we forget about that. But make sure you always show us a genuine smile. Listen for cues. Always say thank you, and uh, be human and do not sound robotic, as Dr. Ammar was saying. Next, please. So the answer framework to any behavioral question is the STAR model, and it starts with S is the situation, so it has to be brief, and all the answers should be not more than 60 to 90 seconds. So you start with the situation that should be brief within the context of the question. That's important. The task should be you should identify your role in that situation and identify other people's roles also. And the action should be what you did, and you should say I. We might have the habit, a cultural habit, that we avoid saying I, not to sound arrogant, but in the US it's different. They like people who will talk about themselves in a good way, and at the same time should be humble also, and that you're proud of what you did, and you shared the knowledge or you made a difference. So be specific and say actions. I did this or I helped with this. And then you always have to have a takeaway at the end, the outcome, what you learned, and how this affected the patient safety or outcome. Next, please. So, for example, there was maybe a team disagreement that affected patient safety. You clarified the roles, you identified the escalation pathway appropriately and aligned in a plan. At the end, there was a safe outcome for the patient. You debriefed and created a communication checklist that the team will learn from to avoid such incidents in the next time. Next, please. Always ask insightful questions. A lot of interviews now, I'm doing my fellowship interview, it will be all about asking questions. They will only ask you to introduce yourself, and the rest of the questions are just for you to ask and to know the programs. And please have 100 questions list on your on a paper next to you to ask. People here like to talk about themselves and their teams and their programs, and they feel excited about it. So make sure you let them talk and give them the time and switch the direction towards them. And I think last slide is next. Always write a feedback to help you with your ranking order list. You will forget what happens, but this will help you. The schedule change, how they do their schedules, how they cover their shifts, how's the Jeopardy system. And you always have to send a concise and brief email. Thank you email should include always something from the questions that you asked. And name one thing now. Keep other things prior to maybe rank order list, or if you meet them personally. So one thing to say now, one thing to tweak for next time. And thank you.
شكرا لك دكتور نمير، الله يعطيك الصحة والعافية. الآن اسمحوا لي أني أقدم زميلنا الدكتور محمود عيسى، اللي هو مثال على الإصرار بالنسبة للماتش بالولايات المتحدة. من خريجي 2012 بعد ما أنهى إقامته بطب الطوارئ والحوادث بمستشفى الجامعة الأردنية، الدكتور محمود قرر يستكمل مسيرته بالولايات المتحدة وعمل زمالة بحثية. وبعدها بعد ممارسة المهنة في إحدى الولايات، قرر أنه يباشر ببرنامج طب الأسرة في ليك سايد ميديكال سنتر، واللي الآن هو تشيف ريزيدنت فيها. فدكتور محمود تفضل، احنا كلنا فخورين فيك دكتور، الله يعطيك الصحة والعافية.
Thank you, Anas, and thank you for everyone who presented already and facilitated that. I'll be talking about the pitfalls, and if you follow Amar and Namir guidelines, you would not need to go to my pitfalls. أنا راح أحاول أحكي شوي ممكن بالعربي في أشياء ما بتقدر الصراحة توصلها بالإنجليزي، لأنه ممكن يكون خاصة الكلتشر situations، يعني ممكن تكون أوضح في العربي، بس تماما راح يعني I'll summarize what Ammar and Namir said in some few points. Are pitfalls important? Yeah, go ahead. Many international medical graduates are well qualified clinically, but they struggle with aspect of United States residency interviews that can affect their chances. Next, Dennis. Thank you. So, being overly formal and scripted communication, I just gave you guys an example. I was trying to really show you how that could be a weak presentation when I was reading the slide before, because I was trying to memorize that words and was trying to find this word, and it's like, oh, what was that word? في كلمة نسيتها is ولا was كانت. Scripted communication always doesn't have feelings. You will lose the feeling in that, and nobody will be engaged with you anymore. And interviewer بيكونوا بلشوا يناموا، يعني you're losing connection with them. You're losing your chances. Practice conversational English. It's very important. Record yourself and have a Native American or American expert or English expert give you feedback on your tone. Ahmad already talked about that tone. I would emphasize more on the tone. I can't be excited saying, oh, that's exciting. This is not exciting. Exciting is really, I'm happy. I'm excited about the opportunity. So guys, you want to make sure you're really addressing those tones and practice. Practice is the key. Next, I'm not, Anas, sorry. Weak and overly modest self-presentation. برضو الشباب حكوا عليه. I want to really emphasize on that point. احنا بالأردن وبشكل عام العرب، إذا أنا اجتمعت مع عمار وبلش عمار يحكي لي عن حاله، هذا الزلمه شايف حاله، شو بيحكي؟ ليش بيحكي لي كل هذا؟ يعني شو يعني بالنسبه لي هذا شايف حاله، و it's very important because you want to understand yourself. This is a very important culture I was struggling with. It's sometimes difficult for us to present ourselves, but you remember you are selling yourself. You're selling your self-promoting. So you want to let them understand what level you are in and confident sharing your achievements. But I want to emphasize on a point that's very important, especially for old graduates and people who had a little bit of experience somewhere else. You don't want to be overconfident, because this is a problem when I'm interviewing someone that might have a high expertise in the specialty than me. As an cardiologist بالأردن وجاي, you're applying for internal medicine, I would be worried that you would be non-teachable and very hard to work with. So أنا مش عم بدور على واحد يجي يعلمني شغلي، أنا عم بدور على واحد يجي يشتغل resident عندي. So don't be overconfident, especially for old graduates. Be confident enough to share achievements and to show them this by example, but be humble. Okay? Next step. So adaptability is important. We're coming from a different culture. different regions, especially now. Middle East is a hot spot in the ward, so you want to really show adaptability and competency with the culture in the United States. Doesn't mean you need to show them that you have the same culture. Totally not. But you want to show them that you're adaptable and you are a person that they can work with without any problems. And I think the best way to do this actually is by sharing your international experience, and that would add a value for who you are. Red flags and bad experience as well. Those would really frame your case as a strength. You want to show resilience and cross-cultural communication. Most of you guys were, I'm assuming that they have a rotation in the United States, or they had some sort of experience with international أطباء بلا حدود or الهلال الأحمر أو الصليب الأحمر أو أي حدا من هذول الأشياء. These are very important experiences. They highlight how you communicate well. And also remember, once they choose you for an interview, that means they overcome all your red flags, all your bad experiences. If you have a gap in your CV, if you have a red flag on exam, they already accepted those flags. So don't be really defensive, versus use this as an opportunity to show that you're a good candidate for this program. So yeah, I had a red flag. I failed step 2, and then I failed step 2, and then I learned from this mistake that I need to hone my experience or whatever. You want to show that as a resilience, not as a weakness. Next slide. Not understanding behavioral questions. Namir already discussed that STAR method. It's very important to practice those questions. They're not asking you about your opinion in a situation. If, for example, they would ask about what is your point, or what is your, tell me about a time when you had a conflict with a coworker or a conflict with a colleague. They want to understand how you really you're a professional and how you really deal with situations. So I would advise all of you to use this method, and not only use this method, also think out loud. So I would start with understanding the situation. You can repeat the question to the interviewer, and then put the problem and put the action that you will be going. So really think about it more aloud and walk them through the process. Next slide. If you want to take one message home, that would be your message. You can't go to an interview without really knowing and mastering the problem, mastering the and mastering the program. So I want, when you're coming to me, I want you to know exactly where are you coming, and I want you to ask, when you're asking questions, ask specific questions. When you're answering, answer specifically related to this program. So you must do your homework, research the program, unique features, facility, faculty that you will be working with. They have a faculty, communities. Like, for example, if you have family in somewhere, then that's why I'm applying. It's important to show them those points that will add on to your evaluation. Next slide. Weak understanding of specialty specific trends. Usually they ask those questions because especially those hot topics like abortion, what is your input about abortion or other stuff, because they want to make sure that you understand, and you can use the same method, the STAR method, as you don't need to just give them your result or your point on this. They want to see how you think about it. And also keep updated. Like, for example, if you're applying to family medicine residency and you don't know that there is a value-based and direct care, and you don't know the differences, they don't need you to know everything, but they would know that you're interested in family medicine, truly interested. If you're like, there's buzzwords like continuity of care, all ages, those are buzzwords you want to use. You can't say I'm interested in cardiology if you're applying to family medicine. So you want to be careful about it. Cardiology is next. So poor time management is what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to take more for everybody to. You want to the interviewer are very good listeners. They can sit 15 minutes waiting for you to answer one question, but you're losing the time, not them. You have 20 minutes interview. They can be just sitting and listening. Maybe they would show interest, but you're losing them. So be very good at managing time, especially to answer questions. It's totally fine once you finish your answer and once you achieve your goal in answering this question to stop talking. It's totally fine. Then they will take over. Or the other thing is end your answer by a question to them is like, you give them your point about tell me about yourself, and then you answer you by the end of that you say, I'm interested in cars and biking. What about you? You can use this. It really depends on the situation, as Mark said. If it's very formal, you want to wait for their questions. If it's like really losing up, or if you're in the break time, then you want to use this. Next. Not asking insightful questions is very important. Namir already addressed that. You need questions. You need a very specific questions to the program, not general questions. So it's like not only research. You want to be very specific about questions about like one of the rotations. Do you do your rotations on site? You do your homework about this. It's very important. I cannot emphasize more on doing your homework about specific program unique features and specific questions on them. Next. Body language and lack of engagement, especially when they put you in the break room. They even mention that they don't really account this, and it's a break room, just relax. But there's someone is watching, one of the residents watching to see if you get engaged with other residents. Um, one of my interviews, I got a feedback from the program director that they don't have any doubt about my experience and my achievements, but they're worried that they think I wouldn't engage with the residents enough because I'm on like a higher level, or because my body language. Something maybe we don't have it in Jordan. It's very important to have like hobbies to share with them, and your favorite color, your favorite pet, your favorite food. That's something usually in the break room they ask about, and you don't be surprised and like looking around trying to find something or some answers. So you can really sit with yourself and just think about it a little bit. It's just the cultural differences. So I know there was one residency that they asked if you would be an animal, what animal you would be. That's like, that's, so you don't need. Sometimes they are asking you to see your stress level and test you. They're not looking at the animal exactly, and it's like they don't care if you're a turtle, but they want to really see how you address those questions and answer them. And I think this is my last slide. So I'll give it back to Anas. Thank you very much, guys, for having me again, and thank you for Anas. Special thank to you and Salama for facilitating this meeting.
شكرا لك دكتور محمود، الله يعطيك الصحة. بالمثل شكرا لجميع المتحدثين حتى هذه اللحظة. الآن معنا دكتور زين العمر من جيل 98، خريجي دفعة 2022. دكتورة زين من المعروفين بمد يدها للعون للزملاء من أيام الكلية، الله يعطيك الصحة دكتورة. وحاليا هي جونيور ريزيدنت في بورتسموث ريجنال هوسبيتال. راح تشاركنا إن شاء الله بخبرتها بالمقابلات السنة الماضية بالسيزون الماضي. الله يعطيك الصحة والعافية دكتورة، تفضلي.
مرحبا، يعطيكم العافية جميعا. أول شيء شكرا لكم لأنه خليتوني جزء من هاي المبادرة. I was mentored last year by JAPA and I'm happy to mentor applicants this year، وإن شاء الله السنة الجاية كمان more Mutah University graduates mentor more students كمان. أوكي نبلش سلايدز أنس. أوكي هلا رح احكي عن تجربتي السنه الماضيه. انا قدمت على الماتش مره واحده فتجربتي مش كتير كبيره يعني، بس رح احاول اساعدكم لما بقدر. بدايه احنا بنحكي عن لما توصلك الانترفيو على من ثلمس وحتنبسط وتكيف الى اخره. اول اشي انا لو بدي انصح نصيحه، وما بعرف اذا هذا الاشي عن جد بفرق او لا، بس بنصحكم انه to schedule the interview once you get the interview. لسبب انه ممكن احكي انه الواحد يمارس يبلش يمارس كيف تكون المقابلات. ممكن عشان تعطي لحالك فرصة انه لو اجاك مقابلات لبعد هيك من اماكن احسن، من programs احسن، انت already you practice the interview. last thing that I would think about is that انه احيانا ممكن انه هم شافوا كتير faces غيرك، انت اخرت المقابلة لنهاية شهر 12. they already saw a lot of people. ممكن this doesn't make a difference but at least this is my thought process. let's say هلا بعد هيك اوكي وصلتك المقابله، حيبعتوا لك مين هم الناس اللي بدهم يقابلوك. كنت انا دائما اني اشوف مين هم الناس اللي بدهم يقابلوني. do your homework again as we all talked about this before. بمعنى انه انا شفت مين هم اللي حيقابلوني، من وين تخرجوا، شو هي الاهتمامات تبعونهم، هم باي مجال متخصصين. لسبب انه بدي اعرف مين هو الشخص اللي حيقابلني. بدي احضر الاسئله again زي ما كان نمير ودكتور عيسى محمود عيسى حكى انه you have to ask questions because questions بتبين انه انت قديش مهتم بهذا البروجرام يلي انت قاعد عم تقدم عليه. فهاي هي اهميه انه انت بدك تقرا عن الناس اللي حتقابلك. هلا بعد هيك بعد ما احنا اوكي جهزنا الاسئله، بدك تبلش تجهز حالك للمقابله. أنا كنت دائما إني أنا أحضر فايل. هذا الفايل كنت بجهزه بناء على مجموعة أسئلة، وبدي أبلش أنا أمارس هاي الأسئلة بيني وبين حالي. Okay, so these questions would be program related. إنه مثلا رح يسألوك إنه أنت ليش مقدم على هذا البروجرام؟ ليش مقدم على internal medicine? So this is specialty related. And the questions about your CV and your personal statement because they're going to ask you a lot of questions about these. Okay, so you have to prepare the questions and the best answer and how to answer them. Okay, and the last thing is behavioral questions. أنا السنة الماضية أول مقابلة قدمتها والحمد لله إني أنا ما نسألت behavioral questions، بس فعليا ما كنت محضرة حل behavioral questions. فكتير شكرا لكم جميعا انه انتم بلشتوا تحكوا عن behavioral questions من بداية السيزون، فحضروا حالكم لهم. بعد ما حضرت انت الملف بلش انت جهز حالك. بتبلش مثلا بغض النظر هاي السنة احنا قاعدين عم نعمل mock interviews. انا السنة الماضية ما عملت mock interview، بس ممكن انك انت يا اما من خلال record yourself see yourself mock interviews with your mentor، او انه مثلا ممكن مع شخص صديقك whatever. بدك تبلش تجهز حالك كيف بدك تجاوب الأسئلة. هلا احنا ما عم نحكي انه الهدف منهم انه بدك to answer them او to memorize the answers بطريقة روبوتك، بس at the same time this is not our first language. فعلشان هيك انه لازم اكون محضرة حالي انه كيف حجاوب هاي الأسئلة بأحسن طريقة ممكنة بدون ما اني انا اكون روبوتك answer لما انسألهم. وبراكتس براكتس براكتس اهم اشي. next slide please. Okay. Yes, again about behavioral questions because it's really important. فزي ما حكينا جهزوا هدول behavioral questions. Most of them they're going to be the same. They're going to ask the same questions. فعلشان هيك حاولوا دوروا على resources. I already shared a video with أنس وهو حيشارككم إياه، حسيته مفيد. إنه مع إنه هو ما له دخل بالطب، بس لأنه كل المقابلات بكل مكان حيسألوا behavioral question. They're kind of the same. فإنه دائما حط ببالك إنه شو هو ممكن يكون السؤال وشو هو السيناريو اللي أنا راح أحكيه، وفعليا من تجربة بتكون فعلا صارت معك. فدرب حالك عليهم. هلا بعيدا بعد موضوع ال behavioral questions و although انه it is against the ACGME بس احيانا ممكن تنسأل inappropriate او sensitive questions let's say. Now what kind of questions are those؟ ممكن يكون political question وخصوصا انه من وين احنا وشو قاعد عم بيصير بالعالم حاليا، او ممكن تكون religious questions and these kind of questions I was asked them last year. فكيف تجاوب على هاي الأسئلة؟ هلا أوكي إحنا قاعدين عم نحكي إنه مثلا بروجرام زي هيك قاعد عم يسأل هيك أسئلة، ممكن إني أنا ما بدي إياه، بس my thought process is kind of different لسبب إنه هلا أوكي هذا الشخص قاعد عم يسأل أسئلة مش مناسبة، بس مثلا أنا هاي كانت مقابلة واحدة من 4 مقابلات، مقابلة واحدة بس انسألت فيها إنه ليش أنت مثلا شو رأيك باللي قاعد عم بيصير بالكذا وكذا، أو ليش أنت مثلا بس تيجي على أمريكا، وفعلا هذا انسألته بدك رح تضلي محجبة أو لا. It is inappropriate بس the way of how you answer this question is the different. إنه مثلا أنا بس إجابة واحدة بدون ما تتغير ردة فعلي، بدون ما يتغير رياكشن وجهي، إنه بس مثلا إنه أنا ما بحب أحكي بالسياسة، أو السياسة هي مش من اهتماماتي، أو إنه مثلا religious question no I don't want to، أنا ما بدي أشلح الحجاب بس أجي على أمريكا. فبس ببساطة يعني هلا خلي بس انه هذا الشخص ممكن هو inappropriate بس بنفس الوقت ما تخليه يأثر عليك انه يخرب عليك مقابلتك. بعدين بعد ما انت تقرر انه بس بدك تعمل الرانكينج ليست، انت بناء على شو رأيك بهذا البروجرام انت بتقرر وين بدك ترانك هذا البروجرام. بس اتليست خلال المقابلة يعني don't be offended، خلاص جاوب بثقة بالنفس، خلي ثقتك بنفسك عالية وعادي answer the question as it is. آخر إشي بدي أحكي عنه اللي هي to be proud of yourself. Okay. You got the interview out of so many applicants، ولو حتى إحنا ممكن إنه إحنا في عنا شوية insecurities أحيانا، إنه مثلا أنا أخذت هاي الانترفيو لأنه أنا عندي connection بهذا المكان، الكونكشن خلاهم بس إنهم يمسكوا الابليكيشن تبعك، بس هو ما خلاهم to offer you the interview. They looked at your application, they liked you enough علشان إنهم هم أصلا يعطوك المقابلة. فعلشان هيك be proud of yourself, make the most out of this interview، وإن شاء الله كل التوفيق يا رب. وبس thank you everyone.
الله يعطيك العافية دكتور زين. الآن ممكن هي الفقرة اللي عندكم الفرصة أنكم تستغلوها وتستفيدوا من مو بس من ناس ما تشوا، ولكن أيضا من الخبراء اللي بيقيموا المتقدمين. اسمحوا لي أني أنا أعبر عن امتناني للدكتور ضياء الخطيب والدكتورة هانا أبو موسى على انضمامهم، وأقدمهم الدكتورة هانا أبو موسى من خريجي دفعة 2015، وهي بروجرام دايركتور للترانزيشنال يير ريزيدنسي بروجرام في اوشن يونيفرسيتي ميديكال سنتر، وبالمثل هي حاصلة على درجة ماسترز اوف اديوكيشن. ومن الجدير ذكره أن الدكتورة هانا كانت من مؤسسي برنامج جابا منتورشيب بروجرام، وساهمت معنا هذه السنة بتأسيس البرنامج. أهلا فيك دكتور هانا. أيضا معنا دكتور ضياء الخطيب، ودكتور ضياء ممكن إحنا نظلمه بالتقديم لأنه ما شاء الله الكواليفيكيشنز بتحكي عن حالها. دكتور ضياء هو أسوسيت بروجرام دايركتور للكارديولوجي فيلوشيب في ميديكال كوليدج اوف جورجيا في أوغستا يونيفرسيتي. بالمثل هو أستاذ مساعد في طب القلب، وأيضا الدكتور ضياء متخصص في تصوير القلب. دكتور ضياء، دكتور هانا، سامحوني إذا أنا ما أعطيتكم حقكم بالتقديم. الله يعطيكم العافية. stage is yours. تفضل. إن شاء الله دكتور نمير راح يكون بيوزع عليكم الأسئلة.
Before going with the questions, sorry to interrupt, Dia or Hannah, if you can give us like your insights. You hear the other speakers. I know there was like amazing like insights, notes, and advices. As program directors, if each one of you can give us like a couple of minutes of insights to share before we go with the questions. Hannah, do you want to go first? Ladies first.
Yeah, yes, sure. أول شيء يعطيكم العافية. عن جد ما شاء الله a webinar that's very informative، يعني عن جد مغطية ما شاء الله كل، يعني ما ضل إشي اللي حكيته فيه ما شاء الله. ف قبل ما نحكي عن أسئلة زي ما قال الدكتور سلامة، أنا بس بدي أحكي عن جد congratulations لكل شخص موجود على هاي المكالمة. It's such a huge step every single one of you كapplicants. المحطة اللي أنتم فيها هلأ صح، من ايام وليالي سهرناها وامتحانات وستبس وابلكيشن. يعني it's such a huge process. وقد ايه احنا دائما هيك فينا هاي الغريزه انه we always want to do more and we always want to be the best. بس عن جد ناخذ لحظه and to really reflect on where you are right now وتتذكروا قديش انتم اشتغلتوا ان شاء الله ان شاء الله. يعني الشغل والهارد work اللي that all of you had put in ان شاء الله ما بيروح for nothing. So really just appreciate اللحظة اللي انتم فيها هلا موجودين عم بتحضروا لانترفيو. such a huge step. ولهلا انا بتذكر when I was in your shoes. فهيك it's a moment وفترة and a journey that you will continue to reflect on. ف that's just two cents. احيانا احنا هيك بننعجب بانه بدنا نكون احسن بس it's such a huge moment. هلا بالنسبة لل points بديش اقول انه they were missing بس I really want to re-emphasize. بدكم تتذكروا شغله كتير مهمه. every single program is looking عم بتدور على applicants بتناسبها. فانت بدك تدور على بروجرام بيناسبك. اتوقع الدكتور محمود حكاها واكثر من the other speakers mentioned this. بس اذا انت مثلا شخص بدك تقدم على كارديولوجي مثلا او gastroenterology or whatever it is فانك تيجي على small community program in the middle of مكان شوي بعيد عن a lot of other subspecialties تحكي لهم ان this is your goal which there's nothing wrong with that. انا كبروجرام دايركتور رح اتردد بانه to rank you high on my list simply because I would feel I'm not able to serve your goals. ف يعني هاي شغله كتير مهمه انه نتذكر انه احنا كبروجرام عم ندور for the best applicants إلنا. فانتوا كمان تدوروا على the best fit for yourself. ما ندور على اسم ما ندور على اشياء معينه. just think about what your goals are. هاي شغله. النقطه الثانيه do your homework زي ما كتير منكم حكيا. أنا ببذل جهد كتير صراحة. أنا من الناس اللي بقرأ every single thing that I have on my applicants من personal statement, letters of recommendation, CV. ف the least I can expect إنه يجيني أنا candidate يكون شوي برضو عامل research عن البروجرام تبعي and to ask me insightful questions and be genuine. تذكروا again هو الانترفيو يعني عن جد ممكن الواحد يتوتر منه and that's absolutely okay. أنا actually in my program I interview a lot of I want to say top US graduates. يعني أنا البروجرام تبعي بيجوني very high scored US grads لأنه a lot of them end up going into dermatology, anesthesia, ENT. ف they end up being really top grads ولساتهم كتير بيكونوا متوترين. ف just normalize إنه الواحد يكون متوتر. هذا شيء طبيعي بس with practicing عن جد we could do a lot of good things. ف practice. أنا إلى اليوم I always video myself حتى لو بدي أعطي محاضرة أو بدي أعطي إلقاء أو أي شيء because هيك الواحد بيقدر دائما يلاقي شيء ممكن يعمل فيه أحسن. I speak very fast وهذا الشيء أنا بعرفه. ف I continue to work on this till this day. ف I advise every single one of you to practice and get feedback و just do your homework, be genuine and yeah and enjoy the process صراحة. بس and happy to take any questions طبعا.
شكرا دكتور هانا for your insights. Dia, if you want to share a couple of ones.
Is Dia here? I'm not sure if he's still here.
Dia, we cannot hear you. You are unmuted, but we cannot hear you, Dia.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Can you
No,
hear
we
me
can hear
now?
you now. We can.
Okay,
Yep.
great. Okay. Yeah, this is about preparation. Best example, live, just to make it real. It's okay, it happens and you move on, right? So anyway, great to be here. Really, I'm so excited. Thank you so much, everyone. Great to see faces that I have not seen for some time. And thank you, Dr. Sawaqid. I rotated with you when you joined Mota, so it's been really a long time, but great to see you and everyone. I just want to share some great points everyone shared and kind of like point a few things I feel like it's really important. I know like everyone has prepared for the interviews. They see this question, tell me about yourself. I cannot emphasize enough on this question. A lot of power you as the applicant direct that day and run the scene, run the interview. So what I would say, expect that's the opening question and really prepare very well to provide an answer. I think one of the speakers mentioned it should be 60 to 90 seconds where you'll be pointing maybe 3 major points that you expect them to ask follow-up questions, just kind of to throw them there and let them kind of like take the lead. So that's really important. And I would say make it like natural. I believe many speakers mentioned use examples as much as you could. Do not be vague. Why you love internal medicine, not because like, it has all the body organs and it's really nice. That's great. Every specialty has that, but really use a personal story that how you learned and how kind of thought about it at some point, how that decision you made came to your mind. The other part, I think, as someone like an IMG, I would say, and I speak of like personal experience. The accent is one thing, the confidence is one thing, but the best way to control that day is to speak slowly and clearly. Do not fill it much with the gap words like or or as or things like that, and try to finish your sentence like just neutrally. Do not kind of end it in a kind of a funky, weird way. I know it sounds like not important, but that really will give you more confidence. The speaker will feel like the faculty will be more confident with you. And someone of you mentioned an important point. Kind of ask personal question. I don't think we addressed that much. Like, try to learn about the residents, what they do in their free time. Do they play soccer? If you love that, talk about it with them. Do they have the chance sometime to go with the faculty on holidays, like, a time off and have fun like that? I think that makes it more personal one, and that makes it more like, oh, I'm thinking about being here and I want to see how I spend my extracurricular time with people there. So keep that in mind. And the third part, it happens a lot. When people apply for a place and they might get interviewed, they might have some connection, either a resident, which is great, faculty, or someone previously was there. So you need to know who that person is, and if they have helped you in like the interview, either selection process or post-interview, you need to know what they're doing now. I.e., if let's say someone reaches to a doctor like Abu Musa, and she was at some point in a residence program 5 years ago, and you bring her name in that program, and then you don't know she moved to another place. That doesn't look good on your day. So just keep that in mind. Know you're connected very well. I'll stop here. I can keep going. I mean, like, this is a fantastic talk, and speakers are amazing. So I'm really excited to be here.
Shukran, Dia. And if I can add like one more insight, I think you need to practice. We cannot emphasize on the importance of practice. So find a peer, someone who's like another applicant who is interested in this, and practice with each other. And the other advice I would say, I would be careful when I say it, is use ChatGPT, use other like AI tools there to practice. But be careful with the prompt. Try to give the context, to give like good information when you ask ChatGPT to run a mock interview. It can be like just by a chat, or can be like conversation. So these things can make it like you more prepared and more genuine when you are like getting to the interview. So Namir, if you wanna moderate the questions, please.
Yeah, sure. So I think we have two questions about the background, the setting. One about like, is it okay to have a white wall behind, and one about an ancient wall clock at the background that makes a beautiful ancient sound. What do you think about that? I think Dr. Han Abu Musa can talk to us about it.
Yeah. I like to say this is actually one of my mentors that I view very highly. أعطتني نصيحة، قالت لي أي شيء in the background you have to be very comfortable talking about. يعني مثلا أنا لو في لوحة I don't know a painting أو مثلا صورة أو كذا كتير عادي إنه حدا يسألني إنه tell me more، يكون هذا هو الانترفيو tell me more about what's on the wall. فالفكرة من الموضوع إنه back to the having the ancient clock, I don't think there's anything unprofessional about that. والwhite background برضو I don't think there's anything unprofessional about that. بس برضو يعني as I said expect if there's anything in the background to be to talk about that a little bit. yeah I mean again يعني بالمنطق، يعني مش معقول نعمل الانترفيو مثلا بغرفة النوم، يعني في أشياء منطقية بتخيل، بس yeah that would be my answer. ما بعرف إذا ضياء عندك
if I want to put my 2 cents here, I think it's a noise maybe if it's ringing and like you can overhear it through the conversation. But yeah, great point, Hannah. If it's in the background, you need to be able to talk about it.
Dr. Dia, if you don't want to add, I can move to the next question.
Yeah, let's go to the next question. Thank you.
Yes. How important is the QA sessions with residents, and what to expect or do in a social event? Dr. Dia, if you want to share with us your insight.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would be genuine. I would be careful to ask like questions that might sound like red flag, like even work schedule. Let others ask them. A lot of time it's your right to know the schedule. Is it like a night float? Is it like the 4+1? Is it a month, like calendar month schedule? So let the other applicants ask. When it comes to what you do in your social time and free time, be genuine, be honest, because they might expect you to know. Like if you say soccer and you have not watched any Premier League for the past 5 years, or La Liga, or like tennis, you don't know who's Alcaraz or someone, that doesn't look right. So be genuine and I'll answer the question that really fits you. Now, what questions you can ask the resident? Also the same thing. Be personal, try to connect with them and hear how their life is. People love to hear or talk about their life. If you have done your homework and you know the chief resident was like a medical school, say in the Northeast, and now they are, let's say, the West Coast, ask how was the transition, how they like it there. That will make it more personal.
بس بدي اضيف شغله because this is important. انا كبروجرام دايركتور واتوقع a lot of other programs انا بسال الريزيدنتس when they are in the break room او اللي احنا بنسميها البريك اوت روم. انا after the end of every interview انا I contact the residents and I ask them هل شفتوا حدا كان red flag؟ هل شفتوا حدا لانه it happens؟ هل شفتوا حدا مثلا that was not interested genuinely not interested؟ والعكس وباخذ رايهم. ف it is important to leave a good impression.
If I can add a point, Ishi is very trendy in residency. Well, ACGME is like on top of every residency about it. Wellness, residency wellness, and resident burnout. Those are great questions to ask in the break room and to the other residents. It's like, what do you do for wellness? Or you can even ask the program director. My associate program director, if anybody asks him this question, he will start talking for 2 hours. So I want to ask him about wellness and about what do you do, how you manage burnout for residents. You just remember this is a trend, and everybody would appreciate you asking this question.
Yeah. If I want to add like something here in build process في few things. One is the residents can red flag you to the program. So if you did something really bad, a resident can like just walk to the committee or like by the office of the APD and they'll be like, hey, we had a problem with that person. And usually like at lunch or something will be like, hey, did you notice anything weird? So something to know is don't mess up. Like it's better not to do anything that messing up. The other thing is some programs, like I know 2 programs, that give each resident a golden star during the match season. And that golden star can go to one of the applicants. So what happens is each interview day, there's a session with the residents, and how they get us to go to this session is by giving us free lunch. They will be like, hey, free pizza and some Coke there. We go, we eat the pizza, and we'll be talking to you guys. We'll be very busy, but we like the pizza. So, and while talking to you, like 2022, I remember there's a guy who was like obsessed with the Moroccan team in the World Cup, and I was obsessed with it. It was like amazing. So I gave him my golden star, and it's like that. If you click with one of the residents, you might get their golden star, and that's like a high rank. I know 2 or 3 programs do that. A couple other programs, they don't give the residents any weight, and if you mess up, there's a red flag. So keep this in mind. This is my experience.
Thank you all. Namir, before moving to the next questions, our plan was to keep this webinar to 90 minutes out of respect of everyone's time. But I think this session is so important. This part is very important. So we will extend this part of the Q&A. So if any participants need to leave, if you have other commitments, that's totally fine. This session is recorded, so you can come back and watch it later on. So if all speakers, all panelists is okay with that, we will extend this session beyond the 90 minutes. So keep going.
الله يعطيكم العافية. تسمحوا لي أنا أعتذر منكم عندي التزام هلا.
حكيمنا again, before
يلا
you go,
يعطيكم
thank you again for your support, and we appreciate this. We'll keep you posted, and we will keep meeting to keep this like program grow and to be like a well-established, inshallah. يعطيك
إن شاء
العافية.
الله يعطيكم العافية واسمحوا لي أنا أستأذن منكم.
السلام عليكم.
I can move to the next question. I think we can combine those two. What do you mean by red flags? And if there's an example of from previous applicant where they stood out and made you consider them ranking them high on your list, maybe to both PDs. We're gonna start with Dr. Hannah.
very simple يعني عرفت كيف الريد فلاج مش إشي كبير simply مثلا حدا عم بيسأل يعني صراحة أنا my examples were one interviews were more in person. for example مثلا actually مع الأسف هذا كان عربي actually وأردني الشخص اللي بدي أحكي عنه يعني anyway هو كان ببروجرام I was a chief resident و apparently he did very well بالانترفيوز تبعونا مع الفاكولتي بس بالريزيدنت روم كان كتير impolite كان مستعجل كان بده يخلص مثلا اللانش and he wanted to finish the tour فيعني أشياء behavioral يعني مثلا بتحس إنه فيها unprofessionalism هاي شغلة because even in a virtual room people can tell if you're genuinely not interested لو أنا مثلا طول الوقت على تليفوني أو مثلا بطلع على الساعة أو بأفف يعني هاي أشياء again يعني أشياء منطقية بتبين إنه هذا الشخص مثلا مش مهتم أو طول الوقت ساكت actually not إنه أنا مثلا بدي إياكم تحكوا constantly بس الفكرة إنه you can see if somebody is genuinely interested or not those are some examples about red flags ما بعرف ضياء إذا عندك more.
لا 100%. So I think يعني don't engage in any يعني uncomfortable conversations يعني even sometimes people assume your last name is certain thing they might ask oh where are you from like don't never ask the faculty you're from unless they ask you and you start that conversation and they're open about it. I think I've seen some faculty don't like that question. And then the other thing is I think someone addressed it before. If you were asked a red flag question, you're not obligated to answer. You can, as someone mentioned, like I don't feel comfortable. Or this is not one of the areas actually I'm interested in, like politics or religious topics or something. And I think that part will avoid you falling into the red flag because if you get engaged in this conversation, you don't know what's the response they were expecting, and then I think the outcome will be worse. That's my personal experience.
And any experience from previous applicants that they stood out or made you consider them high on your rank list?
Again, I would say definitely somebody who I feel that they're genuinely interested. حدا جد حسيته مهتم يجي على البروجرام تبعي، قارئ عن البروجرام تبعي، عارف انا شو بقدم مثلا للريزيدنت، شو عندنا مثلا اشياءات موجوده عندنا المنتورشيب بروجرام، قارئ شو هي المنتورشيب بروجرام. يعني again مش عارف every single detail ولكن عنده فكره and genuinely interested. هاي شغله. شغله ثانيه the conversation flows easy. يعني مثلا ما احس اني عم بشيب راسي وانا عم بطلع منه حكي مثلا او حسيته مثلا again robotic somebody used that phrase and it's very true. يعني ما احس انه الاجوبه بتكون عم بقراهم كتابي actually. انا I saw this once where somebody was reading يعني كان قدامه بدل بتوقع يعني قدام شاشته زي مثلا a word document or مثلا chat GPT ما بعرف and was reading to me the answers. فهاي by the way these are from top US graduates. يعني انا شايفه ناس برضه again that are qualified in certain areas وبرضه English is their first language yet برضه كمان they have red flags on their end. ف يعني هاي شغلات بحس انها مهمة to have يعني an easy flow conversation. Accent is not important بس at least يكون يعني have able to have a conversation and this reflects how you're going to be working with the team لأنه هذا مهم كمان إنه to think about.
100%. Or sometimes actually, like some people ask questions. You're like, honestly, this question is somewhere on the website. Like, it's just like kind of silly to waste your time on this. And just be careful not to ask like, oh, what's the schedule like? Oh, it's 4+1 is on this on the website. I think to me, someone who stands out as exactly Hannah mentioned, someone I would love to work with. End of the day, we are academician, all academic medicine now. It's all clinical also. You have to see patient, you have to get work done. You want to be, with your family at a certain time. So you need someone to you rely on. You don't want someone just like, pretends to be working with you and you don't know if they're going to get the work done. So end of the day, that's what we're looking for, an applicant who would fit in and would get the work done.
Good, thank you. So a
Amir,
question about
can I
yes,
add one
yes.
point about the red flags? I think sometimes you need to know, as we said, like to know your programs. So don't be overconfident or to show that you are like over qualified for the position. For example, if you have like more than, let's say, 5, 6 research experience, if you are interested in some subspecialty, our speakers talked about that, and you are interviewing with a community hospital where research is not one of their like main pillars or main focus. So try to not focus on these points. Don't show like that you have more accomplished than the one who is interviewing you.
I want to add one point. Thank you, by the way, Salam. You brought a really good point, research. I might even take like a 1 minute, 1 minute, so please. So the research as an IMG, nobody's expecting you to have a thorough, like expanded research background. However, if you do have a few of them, or even one of them, you have to bring it to your like benefits. One, you need to talk about the fact that actually in your medical school, to some degree, it's not really a heavy requirement, but you recognizing you want to come to the US, it became a require, it became like an attention by you or energy that you're putting aside, and how that kind of developed over time. One second, anything you put in your CV research-wise, you need to know 2 or 3 parts. One, your role, what you did in that research. Did you just like, put your name and be honest about it? But you're not gonna say that, I hope. But you're gonna participate and say what was your role. Did you write it? Did you write the case? Did you see the patient clinically? And second, you need to know what kind of like was the main thing of the case. Is a case report, or what did you learn from it? And third, even if it's published, sometimes it might be a poster and you might say, oh, this is published and it's a poster. So try to keep that in mind about the research. I think a lot of time, if there's 1 or 2, we try to like, put a line later on to ask about it. So if you don't know anything about it, that's not gonna look good for you.
Yeah. إذا بتسمحوا لي أعلق ضياء تأكيد
عمر.
لكلمتك. أنا اسمي عمر الطويل، خريج 2012. أنا أخصائي interventional cardiologist cardiology ب Mercy Health in Missouri. One thing about research and what not to put in your application. We had an incident recently. One of my cases was accepted to the ACC master class and master discussion. And one of the residents actually want to do it. So I was like, okay, well, you go ahead and do it. And between talking to the panel and talking to the people, and he doesn't know anything. So we talked about it before that, and it was like we had like this long discussion about the case. He helped writing the case, and he was a second author. That's fine, but we talked about it, and you went ahead and you embarrassed yourself on national TV. Actually, that's the problem. The other thing is just big names. I see a lot of people publish research and like really complex topics, and being a second author for medicine interviews or like residency, at least. To be honest, I will avoid that, because you're gonna come across a smart guy. Because like, at least I'm a UTMB graduate. So one time we had really robust oncology program, and one of the guys, he was from Jordan. He was one of the, I think he had this paper with Hussein Saratan, and he's like, I did this, I did that, and just okay. And he was interviewing with Markowitz, which he's the godfather of this field. So just be careful, be careful. And the guy was like, oh, okay, I never heard of you, but apparently you're an expert in this. So that's one thing. Second point, ممكن ضياء وهنا ممكن can focus or shed some light on it. We have really good graduates. Our people, our students are really good. We have one advantage. We have the mentality that we want to impress, where we want to succeed. And I don't think US grads are smarter than you. Like, we're starting a residency program now, and I was involved in the hiring for our structural fellowship program. Trust me, our graduates are one of the best. Maybe we have some, language barrier, cultural barrier, but once we get into the field, and Riyad is very, very prominent example. Once he got in the field, he's one of the pioneer in his field. So I think that's my advice, just to be focused, know your application, because someone will read, someone will research, and he will ask you and he will embarrass you, and believe in yourself. Thank you, Jama'an. I have to leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Omar.
Omar Habibi, thank you so much for like speaking up and for sharing your insights. And this is like a great example about the enthusiasm and the support that we were feeling when we were reaching out to our graduates. So thank you so much, Omar, for adding.
Thank you.
Why did we jump here? Yeah, let's go back to that question.
Thank you,
Go
Thank you,
Nabil.
guys.
Okay.
Okay,
So I think there's a question about late interviews. So interviewing late in the season, what do you guys think about that, and how do programs look at them? Dr. Hannah or Dr. Dia.
أنا شخصيا ما عندي أي comment about late interviews. There's absolutely no difference. Early interviews from late interviews. إحنا عندنا universal standard scoring system. فan interview is an interview صراحة. absolutely don't think about it twice. ما تحسي إنه أنت أخذتي interview late معناته مثلا you're a late pass or anything like that. بالعكس, embrace it and you know, just prepare. يعني اعمل كل شيء as if hi, this is the first interview.
Oh, to your point, and I think Ammar brought it up before, like the day you're on the interview, you're almost equal with others. Maybe there might be 20 to 30% difference between scores. I think like, you know, background, sometimes recommendation letters. But really, it's that your day. You might shine that day, and it becomes very, very like, you know, positive, like, you know, feedback or input for you. And don't overthink it. People sometimes overthink. I remember I was like an applicant, like, oh, my tie is blue versus red, or like, you know, it's gonna be morning versus evening, or it's like, you know, Friday versus Monday. Don't overthinking. I promise you, it's the same if you interview the first of the month or the end of the month. So I think just be yourself and do well.
I
If I
agree.
can
Yeah,
add, go Ammar.
experience. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same. July, sorry, October 1st and December, February, it's the same. You get a scoring sheet, you put your name on the rank list. You do good, it's high. You do bad, it's low. That's it.
I want to add one point about the interviews, if it's like late or not. And let's say you have like 6 interviews, and 2 of them were like in your dream programs, and you feel that interview went great. And then you have like an interview in a program that you would rank low. I would advise you to take each interview as your only one and put all of you in that, like preparing for that interview. And if it's your only chance, and give it all, and like don't try to think, because if I want to share one example in short, I still remember one colleague when I just graduated. He was from another university. He got 16 interviews. Back in the day, that was a huge number. And he went like traveled, and he did the 16 interviews. And then when the ranking he did not rank all of the programs, and he ended up unmatched. So always think and respect each interview and respect each program as if it's the only one. Namir, do you have more
Thank you.
questions?
Yeah, I think we have a couple more. What's the best answer if they asked you if you applied to other specialties? Dr. Dia, if you
I get this, I get this question because also with the cardiology and I do with radiology and advanced imaging. You know, be confident if you did apply for 2. You don't have to lie, but do not speak badly about them. That's very important. So if you really love both medicine and pediatrics almost equally, maybe you can say apply for some combined program, but to be also the safe zone, I thought about applying medicine and pediatrics. I think at that point you should not also be applying for, you know, like let's say radiology, let's say, and urology. It doesn't make sense. But I think there are some exceptions. Do not speak badly about other specialty. You can be honest and address it and focus on your day of the interview.
Just to that point, هلا انا لانه في ناس سالوني عن هذا السؤال بالنسبه للترانزيشنال يير ريزيدنسي. هلا مش عارفين الترانزيشنال يير ريزيدنسي هي عباره عن سنه اقامه بيكونوا فيها they rotate residents اللي هم they're going to an advanced specialty, dermatology, anesthesia and so on. فأنا لما يجيني حدا يقول لي أنا مقدم transitional year and internal medicine، طبيعي جدا أقول له إنه I'm not your right fit. يعني أنا واضح جدا إنه أنا I'm your backup. ف to answer the question، حد سألني should I apply to your program رغم إني أنا مقدم باطني أو مقدم إشي تاني، رح أقول له to be honest يعني I most likely will not rank somebody قايل لي باختصار انه انا I'm a backup high on my list. انا I would rather have somebody عارفه انه بدي اروح مثلا dermatology, anesthesia, emergency medicine and so on. ف yeah.
Okay, and I think one more question about if a program offers both in-person and virtual interviews options, are applicants evaluated any differently based on the format they choose?
For the fellowships, it's like, you know, I do fellowship here, yes, because you are here. Now, residency, just be honest, if you are back home and you know it's not gonna happen, visa or whatever, maybe you can tell them that. But I think if you are here in the US and they give it in person, I would give it a shot, honestly. I think it leaves you in a better place, and you will better understand the place. If you are overseas and it's difficult, just tell them like it would be very difficult, and I would love to do the virtual.
Someone who took 2 years leave during medical school due to certain circumstances, how do you advise them to cover that up during?
I will say you have to, أكيد يعني بدك يكون في some explanation. Somebody will ask you about that. ويكون في, يعني مش شرط تفاصيل التفاصيل of some explanation, but at least كانوا كاتبين sorry, was it a medical reason؟ ناسي شو السبب الشخص اللي سأل السؤال. بس if it's for let's say a medical reason أو إنه a family medical reason، المهم يعني something, just be prepared to be asked about that، لأنه أكيد رح يعني ممكن حدا يتطرق لها، ف be prepared to have an answer.
Oh, sometimes that can also actually, the more common is like someone graduated maybe 4 or 5 years or more. I think that's when it gets a little bit tricky. 2 to 3, I think it's very common for IMGs, but when you get 4 to 5, you need to know how to bring it up, especially with the PD or APD, to show that you have been doing things. I think even for me as in Jordan, why would I know what the medical training system in like Pakistan or like in France or somewhere? So be aware of that, and actually many good candidates will bring it up in their personal statements, so that point is already addressed, but bring it up. And if you've done like a year of like medicine residency somewhere, and you're gonna come here, you're not gonna tell them I applied for residency knowing I'm gonna live here, but I've done like some like transitional medicine residency, something like that, and how much you grew in that time and what you've learned.
Okay, I think we have a couple more. What do you think, Dr. Salame? Should we move on?
If you think there's like, general questions, we can ask it. If it's like direct
Yeah.
questions, we can direct it to the mentors to respond to it later on, just like out of respect for time.
Yeah, one thing I want to bring here, I think is very important, communication. I'm not sure this season we're going to have a post-interview communication, but I'm going to share with you, and please, Hannah, also share your input as well. The thank you email and the top choice program, there's so many people going to tell you so many things, but my personal experience, the thank you email, it doesn't really add much. It's a courtesy, sure. End of the season, when the rank starts and you're genuinely considering 2 or 3 top choices, it might be okay to reach out to them saying that you're one of the top choices, but the problem with that, you did not say it's a top choice. So that's one thing. The second thing, if you have a mentor or a connecting like person who you have worked with, not just because I know this person, he's from a medical school and I know them. If you work with them and they can reach on your behalf, I think that's the best scenario when the rank starts. But do not reach out more than 2 to 3 programs. That's my personal experience.
I think
100%
we
yeah,
can.
I
Yeah, go
totally
ahead.
agree.
Sorry. Go
لا
ahead.
كنت بدي اقول انه بس because I think there were a couple of questions على thank you letter and I totally agree مع ضياء. حلوة يعني، بس انه it's not يعني مش موجودة على الرانكينج سكور. يعني حلو تاني يوم مثلا بصحى بلاقي ايميل من شخص انا قابلته امبارح، it's fine يعني حلو، بس انه it's not يعني مش رح ارجع انا على الرانك اوردر ليست تبعتي وارجع احطه مثلا فوق او تحت. عرفت علي كيف؟ it's not gonna really matter. بس ممكن زي ما قال ضياء حلو at the end لما احنا عم نعمل الرانك اوردر ليست sometime around February, if genuinely this is a place you really want to be in, again genuinely this is a place you want to be in، مش غلط نبعت زي ايميل to remind them. ممكن انت الانترفيو تبعتك قديمه بس to send a letter and please have somebody look at it مثلا قبل بوقت كمان would be helpful. بس yes.
الله يعطيكم العافية. هون عمار, you want to add something?
Yeah, just like quick thing is, I think the thank you letter also depends on the program size. So small programs like some programs I work with, they have like 5 spots. They get like 1,000 or less like applicants. This, yes, the program director, APDs, sometimes they have time to go through the email and check who sent them. It's a small overall sessions. But the other programs I'm working with is to 24 spots, I think 5,000 plus applicants. These people, they don't care about the thank you letters. So maybe this will help.
Great, great. I will stop us here, and I want to remind our participants that they still have their mentors. They can ask their personal questions or like direct question to them. And if they need like any question from our mentors, please reach out directly or through Anas. And next, please. This is like useful resources. I would ask our panelists if they think about any other good resources to share it with Anas. We will add it to this list. It would be added to the instruction sheets that we will share with our applicant this year. It will be added to our manual. So anything that can be helpful. And next, please. So once again, thank you all for our invited speakers, our mentors, and to every Mutah graduate who volunteered time to give back tonight or on the days before. We are proud of this spirit of mentorship, excellence that defines our Mutah community. And mashallah, there was a thoughtful preparation. I want to acknowledge thanks for Lujain and Omar for helping with this webinar. And for Anas Soteri, I would not use the word miscellaneous if I prepared the slide. I would say magnificent or great support. He's all over the place. He does not sleep. So he's always there to respond to my text messages or to anyone's else and try to adapt. Thanks to Dr. Tiba and good luck in this season. She helped a lot and she's an applicant and she has a lot on her plate, but she always jump in and help with a lot of tasks. So thanks Tiba for all your help. With this, we will reach to the end of our webinar. Next, I would just remind about a program that we are starting. It would be visiting graduates. So I'm trying to arrange with our alumni in the States. Whenever they are visiting Jordan, we are facilitating a trip for them sponsored by the Dean office to go to Mutah and to give a lecture and to talk about their experience. So there will be a schedule, we'll try to keep it once a month or twice, depending on how many people are going to visit Jordan. Starting next in 2 days, Dr. Mahmoud Abu Hazim will be there. So whoever in Karak, it's a great opportunity to meet a great mentor, a great colleague, and to learn from his experience. With this, we reach to our conclusion. Allah يعطيكم ألف عافية. شكرا جزيلا للجميع one more time, and good luck for our applicant. Assalamu alaikum.